I just loaded 2 large scissor lifts, 32 by 46 I believe, so they can go up to 32 feet. And today is Thursday, and this coming Monday we are off, you know, which is a very rare thing, because normally we open all the time except Sundays. But this, I forgot, is it family day or something? So we off, and I couldn't sleep for some reason, so I got up at 4 o'clock and I had this crazy idea. Maybe I should try Uber. Did one ride yesterday after work, and then it was dead. Very bad demand now for, you know, unless I guess you stay really late, which I don't want to do because, you know, I work all day. And so I got up at 4. I probably waited like half an hour and got a passenger from my area going to Midtown 16 Ave. Forget the name of that shopping center, but it's a large shopping center. Oh, it's, yeah, it's like 32nd Street and 36th Avenue. Took her to a coffee shop, so she was going to work. And when I picked her up, I see the name, it's just 3 letters: F as in Frank, N as in Nancy, and U as in uncle. And yesterday when I had that guy, actually he was coming from my work area to my home area, and he had the same name. And I asked this lady, I said, I thought it was a male name, because he said Fonu. So what's your name? Like the guys yesterday. He says Fonu. And this girl says, well, actually it's not a name. It means what is this? Basically no first name. Oh yeah, first name unknown. What? So I did not know that. So that's what they put in. So she doesn't want people to know her name. So anyway, kind of like funny. But I made 15 bucks before I start working. So lunch today is free. So my first drop is 19 kilometers away, just somewhere south of Glenmore Trail, Highway 8. And I just wanted to show you guys, I really love this city, you know, and I love the downtown in early morning or late night, but most like early morning, how it's illuminated. It's just magical. I don't know, because it's pretty small compared to, let's say, Toronto. You know, it's the city of Calgary is much smaller, and that's what I like about it. Like, if this was Toronto, it would be stop and go every day, right? And I texted the guy, I said, because I see the building where I'm delivering, it's like, you know, there's many units. It's a commercial building and there's many units in there. And my paperwork does not give me a unit number or company name where this guy is working. So these are like air guys, you know, they fix AC, heating, stuff like that. So I know their company name, but I don't know which company they're working at, right? That's why they rented this scissor lift. How do I get out of this lane? There's always traffic in here. To my left. All right, one guy changed lanes. Finally, because it's gonna be a mess over here. I need to be in third lane from the left, because this one, no, actually wait, this one exits at Glenmore Trail, but I forgot if I am going on Glenmore Trail or if I keep going on Deerfoot. We'll see what Apple Maps say. And so this guy, I text him, I said, hey, is there a unit number, a company name I should know, I should be looking for in the back, because that's all my paperwork says. there's a bay door in the back. Text him and somebody will come out with a key to open it. But it's a multi-unit building, right? So what unit, which bay door, what company name? And he texts me back, luckily, and he says that used to be a dentist office, like some kind of a, you know, orthodontics. And that's the beautiful downtown over there. I still don't see any new starts. You know, they were threatening that soon the downtown will look totally different because there'll be a much taller building or two buildings, like a hotel slash apartment building, but I don't see it. I don't know where are they building it, or maybe they haven't started yet. But anyway, so the guy says it used to be a dentist office, which I don't know if you see the humor in this, but it doesn't help you, right? Like, because if this was a dentist office, they probably took off the signs, right? So there's no way to tell which, like, unless I know the area specifically, it does not help me to pinpoint the unit number. So, but we'll see. Maybe the sign is still there, so I'm gonna go and look at the front, see if there's any old dentist office signs. And that's sometimes, you know, a challenge with deliveries. It's lack of information. Where do they want this machine? So we'll try to make the best out of this situation, and, you know, keep the customer happy. But you guys probably forgot about this GoPro. I know some people hate it, some people like it, but it keeps my feet free and my hands free, you know, so it's good.
In about 10 kilometers, take exit 248 to merge onto Glenmore Trail.
Oh, Glenmore Trail, cool. So this is the lane I have to be in. But the reason I'm recording this is that I mentioned yesterday in the video that I'm going on a really, like, feels like a road trip, because normally this is what I do: 10, 15, 20 kilometers one way, you know, 5, 10, 15 miles. But today, so I have two scissor lifts, right? So I'm dropping the first one at this location in the south of Calgary, but then I'm driving all the way down to High River, which I'm really excited about, because this is about 80 clicks or 50 miles, you know. It's like, even though actually this is not the longest trip I've done with this company, because I went to Banff a couple of times, right? And Banff is 100 miles or 150 kilometers. It's much further. But this is nice because this is going south towards US pretty much. And I know that town, I think there's a Flying J in there, if I remember correctly, and I stayed there many times when I was trucking, you know. Like, it's a small town, and then again, if I remember correctly, like Highway 2, Deerfoot, it goes through the town unless they built a bypass since then, and it basically turns into a regular road with lights and stuff, but maybe just a couple of lights. And then once you leave the town's boundaries, it becomes interstate again, or freeway. And right there on the main drag was the turnoff for the Flying J. I think it was there, High River. And also another interesting fact is that there's a pretty good whiskey that actually I bought a couple of times at the local liquor store, and it's, I think it's called 90, like 9090. and they have 5-year-old, 10-year-old, and I think even 20-year-old, and it's pretty good. You know, it's like kind of like maple flavor, very soft, you know, nicely done. And it's, I remember when I was curious, where is it made, and it says High River. So it's a High River distillery. And another interesting story for you. So yesterday, the guy I picked up in my area, like the passenger for Uber, I picked him up at a large warehouse that I know. I've been there a couple of times. So they deal with alcohol. And I picked him up, and I was just curious. I said, "You work here?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "What do you do?" He says, "I'm a driver." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a driver too." And so we started chatting. So I think he drives a semi truck, like with a, you know, tractor trailer. So I was curious, you know, how much hand bombing is involved, because it's alcohol and they deliver to restaurants, you know, and bars and stuff like that. And he said that actually the initial pay was smaller. We were just, you know, exchanging notes. So he said if you start with them, the initial pay is less than what I'm making now, but then after 2 years they get you to 30. And he says there's always 2 people. So basically a truck like this, you know, like a day cab with a 53-foot trailer, and you always get a helper. So there's a driver and there's a helper, and you get a power jack, you know, like a dolly, so you don't have to push it with your own strength. But he said the challenge is in winter that dolly gets stuck in the snow. And I said, okay, that doesn't sound too bad, since, you know, you have tools, you have power tools, right? But I said, what's the heaviest container or whatever you have to load and unload? He says beer keg. You know those big aluminum kegs, like they're probably 3-4 feet tall. He says it weighs 60 kgs. I said, holy moly, it's like 150 pounds. And I said, who loads the truck? Like when you show up in the morning, do you have to load yourself with a forklift or something? He says, no, there's a night shift. So they load all trucks during the night, and then when the driver shows up in the morning, he gets assigned a helper, and a helper is a driver who just started, pretty much. Basically, when you start with them at this very low pay, you start as a helper, you know, just to learn the ropes, and then eventually you become the driver. But you know, sounds kind of like interesting, except the pay is terrible for the first couple of years. But it was fun, you know, like interesting to talk to another driver, even though he had this Fonu. So now I know, which means first name unknown. So I don't know why people do this, you know. So anyway, now we're gonna be stuck here for probably, oh, you see, look at this guy, beautiful, nice. So this will be happening, like I mentioned before, more and more closer to the ramp, to the off ramp. So usually then you sit on somebody's bumper, not to let other people in, but I cannot do that since, you know, I have 2 heavy machines. So my brakes are good, but not as good as those of a car, right? Especially with a heavy load. So I gotta keep a distance at least like this. 1, 2, yeah, like 2 seconds. You know how you measure? You pick up, let's say, a pole. You see, like that guy, boom, jumps in. So you pick up a pole and then you count the seconds till you reach it. You know, let's say when this car is under the bridge, and then I start counting the seconds, and 2 seconds interval is the minimum safest, because you need time to react, right? When something happens, there's a reaction time that your brain understands something is happening, and then there's a, you know, the time that your brakes work. They also don't work instantaneously, right? And then there's a braking distance. And so if you're closer than 2 seconds, well, not with this slow traffic, but you know, let's say if we're driving 60 miles an hour and I'm close like this, that's an accident waiting to happen. So now there'll be people sitting here trying to get into this lane. And I hate doing that myself. I think only once I did it, you know, I don't know. Because there's always a chance that that people will not let you in, and you cannot just sit here, because that's a passing lane, right? So if you stop there, somebody can hit you, you know, like if somebody's not paying attention. So we're playing a game. We're playing a game, basically. I need to keep the safe distance, but I hate for these people to jump in here. But if they jump in, I'm not gonna get there any faster, you know, or slower, rather. But the danger here is, you see how, because of all these people jumping in, and everybody tries to accelerate not to let them in, and then they have to hit their brakes, you know, this is super dangerous. So screw this, I'll just keep my distance. Let them come in, I don't give up, you know. See, like, yeah, welcome. See, boom, now we hit the brakes. Because I see far away, there's a bunch of cars going in here. Because nobody has patience anymore. They cannot just do like me, you know, just join the line and keep moving. No, we want to be the smartest guy, you know, and outsmart everybody. Come on in. We need you here.
Use the right lane to take exit 248 to merge onto Glenmore Trail.
But at some point I'm gonna lose my patience, and I'm not gonna let them in. But I'm supposed to be a safe driver, which I think I am. See, like excavator. 1, 2, 3.
Then keep right to merge onto Glenmore Trail West.
So that's 3.5 seconds between the Tesla and me, which is pretty good. You see, like this guy, he chose the last possible moment.
Merge onto Glenmore Trail West.
Like, that's risky, but of course they're always looking for a truck, because they know that trucks keep a distance. So the guys, smart people, know that usually there's a gap in front of a truck. But I mean, why would you want to risk like that, you know? Like, what if I sped up? He'll be stuck in here. If I sped up and not let him in, he'll be stuck in this island, blinking his right turn signal. Please, please let me in. No, go to the back of the line. That would be funny. But you see, he left, so I didn't lose anything, because these guys are moving slow. So there's no point. Alright, so I'm going here. Yeah, okay. So usually there's a bit of a lineup here when you join the Glenmore. Even though what I like is that we get our own lane. Like we don't have to merge. Like this lane, like over there's 2 lanes. This lane becomes lane number 3. But the problem is that this lane is also the exit lane for Blackfoot Trail. And so lots of times guys from here try to go in here, which is again another stupid traffic engineering solution.
Stay in the second lane from right.
Second lane from right. Okay. But we're moving. And I'm getting really close to my former dentist office. Should be there in 3 minutes. Unload and then we're gonna head down to High River. Well, found the place. The sign was still there. Some orthodontics place. But the place is locked up. The guy says just park it in the back. My tech is not yet here. I said okay. That's it, another happy customer. Well, that's the lift over there. So I'm now heading over to the second drop. And I talked to the guy, he's already on site, even though my paperwork says not on site before 8. But it's like, what is it? Oh, it's already past 8. Just a couple of minutes. And he says it's a commercial building. So he'll meet me there. He says, if you cannot find me, he says, I said, so your truck, you know, what helps is that usually these contractors that hire this, right, like I mentioned before, they work at somebody else's property. And so my paperwork says, you see, like this guy, that's my customer. Well, that's the customer who rented the scissor. So he's already here. Uh-oh. Not enough space here.
50 meters, turn left onto Fairmount Drive Southeast. Turn left onto Fairmount Drive Southeast.
So
Turn right onto
the guy's on site, and I'm a bit disappointed. I was expecting a 50-mile run, or 80 kilometers, but I forgot that I'm already in the south. Like Glenmore Trail, that's pretty far from our location, and so I'm pretty close to High River. And so when I put in the address, and actually it's kind of like a small town near High River. It's called Alderside. So when I put in that, it says I'm 44 clicks away. What? that's not a road trip. So 44 kilometers, that's just over 25 miles. Maybe what, 27 miles? So we're going back on Glenmore Trail. I'm guessing towards Highway 2 South, Deerfoot South. But then on the way back, I'll take the ring road.
Continue on Alberta East for 1.5 kilometers.
So I need this lane to go south on Highway 2. See, I've been driving so much in this. Oh, look at that mess. I've been driving so much here that I have this nice feeling when I know which lane I have to be in. See, like this. So if I were going back to our base, I would be in this lane, because that's northbound Highway 2. And this construction here has been going on forever.
Use the right lane to take the Alberta 2 South.
So you have to watch for this 60 kilometers an hour maximum speed limit all of a sudden. All because they're working under that overpass over there.
Use the right lane to take the Alberta 2 South exit. Then use the right lane to take the Alberta 2 South route.
So I opted to use Google Maps this time instead of Apple Maps, because I realized one interesting feature that
Use the right lane to
Google
take the
Maps
Alberta 2
has
South route.
and Apple Maps doesn't have. It's the speed. You know, like that's a pretty
Continue on Alberta 2 South for 38 kilometers.
pretty nifty feature, right? It shows you the speed limit, and then it shows you your speed. Like, for example, now
Police reported ahead.
50 kilometers an hour. And you see, and there's a camera car. Drive safe. Those guys with cameras. And oh, I think it's because here there's 40 kilometers an hour for me, and then here it's 80. And they like sitting in these areas where this, like construction zone, because most people don't pay attention. So that's a nice revenue stream for Uncle Sam Canadian Edition. Oh, now we have to get out from this lane into this lane, and now we are at a regular 100 clicks an hour. But eventually, again, I know from experience, I have to be in this lane. Actually, not eventually, even now, because this one exits at what is it, Blackfoot Trail. But this guy next to me, so, well, still, on the way back, I'll be doing 80 kilometers, 50 miles from the drop to the base. But this here is just, now it says 25 minutes. It's just south of Okotoks. Another construction zone. And this is where Highway 2 splits. So these two lanes go south, and this lane, goes to, sorry, not Blackfoot, Bow Bottom Trail. Bow Bottom Trail and Anderson Road. So I'll just set my cruise at 81 clicks an hour. So so that I don't run, in case I run into another camera car. So now we can just relax and enjoy the drive. Oh, by the way, was checking for the other driver this morning where he usually parks in front of our shop, and he's not there. And yesterday he was having it was his turn for annual review with the management, and I'm thinking, man, did they fire him? And then I see he parked on the other side of the road where he never parks. So good news, the other driver survived the annual review, so I hope it'll be the same, because I think today is my turn. So they'll tell me what I did wrong, and maybe there'll be some talk about the salary, but we'll see. Yeah, sometimes I do this, you know, when I'm not sure if the guy can see me, because I was in the blind spot of that white van, and people that join here, that merge, they often feel like they have to go right away to these lanes. Okay, I already see the red sign, construction zone, construction ends, and then 100-kilometer limit begins. So we can start increasing the speed. 86, 88, 89, 91, 92, 94, 96, 97. We're gonna set it up at 97 clicks an hour, which is pretty much exactly 60 miles an hour. I used to love this speed for convenience, because you do 1 mile a minute, you know, so it's very easy to tell when you look on the map. You know, it says you're 20 miles away, so you're 20 minutes away. That's the favorite tactics of four-wheelers. They're driving slow, and then when a truck changes lanes to pass them, they accelerate. And basically they leave you hanging. See here, it has 4 lanes, and again, I know from experience that these lanes end once you cross over Stony Trail 201. Only 2 lanes remain on Highway 2 going south towards US border. So this is the safest lane, meaning that I don't have to do anything. Like if I was like this guy, right, I would start, and he keeps going south, let's say, he would have to start moving left. So this is Highway 9 Express. trucking company. I see their trucks all the time. See, we're moving good. The cruise control is on. 97 clicks per hour. I'll be there in 19 minutes. Recently I've been eating all types of food, and I stopped using the Lose It app, the free app that tracks your calories. And I was at 182 pounds, and then all of a sudden now I'm at 188. So all that food you saw me cooking, like especially that pasta, even though it's like looks healthy, vegetables, everything, but it's too many calories. And so a friend of mine was telling me about the app, and so I deleted that one, so I don't have that Lose It on my phone anymore. And I was thinking of, downloading it again, and then a friend of mine says, you already have, since I have iPhone, right? He says, you already have the health app. And so he's tracking his alcohol, gym, like there's many things you can track. I never used it, so again, I might want to look into that one. Guy's moving a wheel loader. Oh, that's Q-Line Trucking out of Saskatchewan. I know a guy who works for them. And actually, you see, that was incorrect, the info I told you, because I forgot that the ramp from 201, once you pass the Stony Trail, the ring road, these two lanes appear. And so I ended up in lane 4, and so now I have to start moving. Okay, now this is the proper one. Uh-oh, we have something over there. What's happening? Construction. I think there was a disabled van sitting on the shoulder, and this guy was basically, yeah, you see, all lanes end. Now we have just 2 lanes, and now we are another couple of clicks and the speed limit changes to 110, 68 miles per hour. And that means we are out of Calgary officially. Nice looking houses over here. And this is our famous Bow River, and it's Calgary city limits. Yeah, and it's already 110, but screw it, I'm gonna drive like this. I'm only 14 minutes away. must be fully loaded, cannot pass me. Uh-oh, I have a slow-moving tanker in my lane with flashing lights. Which lane shall I jump to? Like, why is he in the middle lane? What an idiot. That's why they have this lane. This lane ends after the hill, but it's specifically for slow-moving trucks. That's where this guy should be. That's it. Оперативный простор. The tanker on the other side was CAG, Canada. They do fuel. I know a guy who signed up with them for this winter season to do ice trucking. But you only get $4 grand every 2 weeks, and you have to sit there in Yellowknife territories and deliver fuel to mines in the north. And it's seasonal. It's only for roughly 2 months, I think. We are back to 2 lanes. Oh, that truck has railroad wheels in the back and in the front, so it can go on a rail line. Interesting that these guys, they actually use their regular tires to propel themselves, because the tires are sitting right on top of a rail, and so when the engine moves the wheels, they move forward, and so they're supported by the railroad wheels. 10 clicks to my exit. And then it's just 3 kilometers, mile and a half to the destination. See, this part of Alberta is pretty hilly. So I can see mountains in the west, and this is straight south towards US, and Sweetgrass, Montana. Sky over there is all blue. Looks like it's gonna snow or something. Oh, another rental delivery guy. So that whole trailer tips kind of like my truck, except of course it's much bigger. So these guys can, you know, haul 3, 4, 5 machines. This is really dangerous. And my dispatch just sent me an email. I'm supposed to pick up something on the way back. So I'm not going back empty. Horses, that's like a large horse farm. And this is, we are in the country. Farms, big houses. Alright, my exit is 4 clicks away. I think I should take this lane. See, we have no snow. We did have a few pretty big snowstorms, right? If you saw my previous videos, but then the temperature went up and everything melted. So now we're at +1. When I left my home at 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., sorry, we were at 0, 32F. I think that guy takes the same exit as me, maybe not. Another RV place, storage. RVs are very popular here. Everybody has one because we're so close to US. So people before Trump, yeah, no, that's a wrong exit. That's not for me. But that rental guy went in there, and so people use these RVs. You know, they would go south into Montana, and lots of times from Alberta you just go straight down towards Arizona, and then retirees would spend the winter in Arizona. Oh, I think I loaded here. This heavy iron. Yeah, I've been here before. When my 60-ton, I loaded a big machine out of here. So somebody bought it from an auction, and this was the seller. Huh. Because I remember that yard. It was pretty tight. So I just backed to, and the guy drove out them. I think it was a big excavator. Alderside, High River.
Exit 209, then use the right lane to take the Alberta 7 West route.
So yeah, you see, I thought I was going to High River because that's what my dispatch told me, and then when I got the paperwork this morning, I saw it was actually Alderside.
Use the right lane to take the Alberta 7 West route, then merge onto Alberta 7 West.
Uh-oh, there's a scale somewhere here. Oh, petrol pass. I think I've been here.
In 600
True.
meters, turn left onto Alberta 2A South.
Self-way. Okay, where am I going? So I think when I loaded the machine over there, I spent the night at this petrol pass, and it was terrible because I don't have the fuel card, and I needed to go to the bathroom inside, and so I had to wait for somebody to show up with a fuel card. Like a guy showed up, he was going inside as well. I said, could you please let me? I'm dying out here. I need to use the bathroom. And it was like winter, there's nothing around.
Turn left onto Alberta 2A South. Signs for Alderside, High River. Continue on Alberta 2A South for 2 kilometers.
Oh, another RV dealer, Western RV Country. Open. And these RVs, I don't know if you know this, guys, but the loans are like for a house. You know, you can get one of these and try to pay it off like within 25 years, 30 years, so they make a lot of money.
Head toward Alberta 2A South.
They make a lot of money on the interest.
Head toward Alberta 2A South.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. Just give me the green light. Here we go.
Head toward Alberta 2A South. Head southeast on Alberta 2A South. Continue on Alberta 2A South for 1.5 kilometers.
Ah, so Alderside is 2 clicks away, but High River is 12 clicks away. If I stay on this road, so High River is more to the south. I think I was here before as well with this job. I think there's a trailer dealer somewhere here. You know, a place where they sell those small trailers that pickup trucks pull. I think they sent me there to pick up some parts. I think it's somewhere here.
In 600 meters, turn left onto 410 Avenue East.
Alright, I'm almost there. 1 minute. Yeah, so I'm turning left here, 410 Avenue. Oh, that's a nice looking Peterbilt tanker with 3 axles in the back. Wow. limit is 40 kilometers an hour. That's exciting. So my building is somewhere here. Oh, look, it's all residential. But the guy said the
Turn
build.
left onto Alberta Avenue, then your destination will be on the right.
Oh, it probably over there. This one here. Let me just double check my paperwork. So just dropped off the machine. Nice looking old farm tractor here with the dozer blade. And it's that building over there, the great building. So basically it's a water treatment plant that's being built, and it just next to it is a huge hole in the ground. But the guy who rented the scissor lift, it's like a slab scissor lift, you know, with soft wheels, you know, so you cannot use it on the dirt. But he says, can drop it here, because I was blocked, you know. I entered that gate there, and right away portable water truck showed up, and there was a toilets in near the gate, you know, like this, you know. I drove in, and then this guy just backed to the gate because the toilets were right in the corner, and he blocked me off because the guy was saying, no, this is the wrong gate you went into. Can you go back to the street? There's another gate there. That's where I want the scissor lift. But by the time he finished explaining, that water truck showed up, and I said, can you please move a second? No. He says, I have to do this. So basically he was pumping some water into the toilet building. He says 5 minutes. So he doesn't care. And then my customer says, oh, just drop it here on the side, so we can move it with a zoom boom, you know, with like a telehandler. Yeah, okay, because these machines, they have slots in the side for forks, you know, like that's a very, it was a smart engineering decision, because they know that these things have to be, you know, moved sometimes, you know, like in this situation, like I dropped it on the dirt, and each wheel has, you know, a sensor. So if it senses that uneven ground, it can shut down. It'll start beeping like crazy, and so, but because these guys have a telehandler, that's perfect. So you just grab it from the side, and because my customer said he'll be using it inside that building that's already erected.
Continue on Alberta 2A north for 1.5 kilometers.
And so I started unloading, and by the time I was done, the water truck was gone. Perfect. So now I'm just going back north, and this place I'm going, it's another rental company. And actually I remember that story I mentioned the other day about the guy who gave me a $5 because I helped him with chains. So he had the sweepers, and that's what I'm picking up. I'm picking up 2 sweepers. I'm pretty sure it's the same ones that guy picked up. They're not very easy to tie down, you know, because they're articulating, and they have this what do you call it, you know, like the broom, the sweeper in the front. All right, so he says Calgary, Fort McLeod. All right, let's go here.
Use the right lane to turn right on Highway 7 East, Alberta 547 East. Signs for Alberta 7 East, Alberta 2.
Yes, if you go here, you get to this Petro Canada. Now, where's Petro Pass? This is not Petro Pass. This is Petro Canada.
In 400 meters, use the right lane to take the Alberta to North.
Oh, it's over there. Yeah. There's like two parts. There's Petro Pass for trucks and Petro Canada for cars.
Use the right lane to take the Alberta to North Rail.
Yeah, and now we're just taking this
600 meters, merge onto Alberta to North.
to get back to civilization. So I'll be at the pickup at 9:20. Let's say 10-15 minutes to load, 9:30, and then it's half an hour back to the base. So I'll be there at 10. Cool. So which only leaves like an hour till my lunch. And then usually after lunch things go much faster.
Continue on Alberta to North, 15 kilometers.
Or 100 kilometers an hour. I like when it's exact. So 62.15 miles per hour. And it's getting warm inside the truck, but it's actually getting colder outside. And now it's 0. 32F. Yeah, this looks like the same heavy iron place. This looks like spring, early spring. Catching up with the container guy. I thought he was doing the speed limit, but he's driving slower than me. Shall we pass him? We are at 110 on the cruise. The container truck is left in the dust. That was, I think it was a Freightliner Cascadia. old railway station or railroad. Probably a museum. By the way, cool thing I noticed about flatbed trucks is that nowadays you don't see them tarping, you know, when they have lumber. Because I always wished that they would do this, what they're doing now. So basically the shipper wraps each bundle in a cover, and so you don't need tarps. But back when I was doing it, what, like 15-20 years ago, every time you had dry lumber, which was like 90% of lumber, you had to tarp it. The only time you did not have to tarp it is when you had I think they call it wet lumber, basically unprocessed lumber, but that was very rare. And those freaking 8-foot drop tarps, you know, they're pretty heavy and very dangerous when you have to put them on top, and there can be breaks in the load, so you can fall in, like I did once, because you cannot see under the tarp, right? Wow, the truck is moving pretty good. Passing civilians here. What is this? A Lexus? No, Hyundai. Yeah, Hyundai. Hyundai something. The highway splits. You can go on 2A, these two lanes, or this is highway 2. So I need to go here. But this becomes McLeod Trail. Miss Google. see downtown from here. Wow, it's on top of a hill. Probably 30 clicks away. And we are still at 110. Oh yeah, city center, 34 kilometers. 17 miles. So the speed limit will go down to 100 once we hit the city limits. It's on top of that hill. And I'm exiting as if I'm going to the community called Seton. S-E-T-O-N. Going back over the Bow River, where those trees are. That's the river. Actually, it's 2:30. I don't know why Google always. It's exit 230, but it's proper 212 Avenue.
Take the first exit onto 212 Avenue Southeast.
And we are back in Calgary. Exhaust brake on. So somebody sent me a text message on my personal phone. Left is clear.
Exit the roundabout onto 212 Avenue Southeast. Continue on 212 Avenue Southeast for 1 kilometer.
I see new construction. So maybe these guys just rented the sweepers. Well, I forgot to text the guy. Did I text the guy? No, I don't think so. Now wait a second. So here I can only go left. No, wait. I can go there. Just eventually it'll be. See, this side will be this way, this side will be this way, but I'm pretty sure there was no sign. Normally they would put a sign no entry if this was one way. Yeah, so Wild Rose, that's what I needed. Somewhere over there. hope this guy will not start honking at me. Are you crazy? This is one way. Like, there's no signs.
Wild Rose Way southeast, then your destination will be on the right.
Oh, okay, so this is what I need. This is my street. Now we just need to find the sweepers somewhere here. So here's the sweepers. Had to winch them up because one of them is dead. No, that one. And it's stuck in the articulated position. And in case you're wondering, that's how I always try to immobilize objects, like push them against each other. And so one chain in the middle, one strap on the top, and they're sitting pretty good. I don't think they're going anywhere. But yeah, this one was crooked like this, and something happened with the cord. They said they couldn't even use this machine. Basically broke down, so they only used that one. But I didn't even bother to start it because they roll easily. All I had to do was just use my winch, and my remote stopped working, so I had to drag the cable. But hooked up those, I have two hooks over there, hooked up those towing hooks, and it was easy. Well, that's it. I'm about to roll out. Just noted down the time and date when I picked them up, because once I'm in the office, I'll have to grab the original pickup slip on the dispatcher's desk and just transfer the information there, because he only sent me a picture, you know, like that's what our dispatch does, so that I don't have to come back. He just takes a picture of the, let's say, pickup slip and says grab these on the way back. Okay. And then I usually write stuff down on the back side of the another delivery or pickup slip I have, and when I come to the office I just transfer the info. With these it's just time and day, but also I'm supposed to measure the length of those you know, nylon things to see how much they used. Actually, I have a measuring tape, but I'll do it when I'm back in the yard.
Turn right onto Ricardo Ranch Avenue southeast.
So yeah, the guys rented two machines, but one died. They probably were sweeping the sidewalk here, because there's a lot of dirt all around. And see, this is kind of like the end of Calgary, right? So like you see houses over there, but here there's nothing. But this is gonna be built up, because I see flags over there, like new, you know, new community, stuff like that.
In 200 meters, turn left onto
These
212th Avenue southeast.
nice looking townhouses, but they look pretty much exactly the same. Kind of like twins, you know, multiple twins.
Turn left onto 212th Avenue southeast.
This I see Logan Landing. That's what this is. Logan Landing. And sales center. So yeah, if you go down there, you can buy a house, but there's nothing there yet. But that would be the best way. Like I read about this somewhere, that that's the best way
Continue on 212th
to make
Avenue
money,
southeast for 800 meters.
is when you buy a home in a totally new development where there's like nothing, no stores, you know, no gas stations. Because then when they build up the area, right, and they add stores and gas stations and restaurants, the value of your home definitely goes up. Oh wow, mountains look pretty good, so clear, and yet they're 100 kilometers away, like straight ahead of me. Alright, so four-way stop. So I'm jumping back on Highway 2, and then 201.
In 300 meters, use the right lane to take the ramp to Alberta 2 North.
So this is 50 clicks,
Use the right lane to
25 miles from our yard. So the distances here, you know, even though Calgary is so much smaller than, let's say, Toronto,
300 meters.
but the distances here are huge.
In 500 meters, merge onto Alberta 2 North.
В разгончик, в разгончик. That from the famous Russian movie called "Берегись автомобиля." Beware of the car.
Use the right 2 lanes to take the exit towards Stony Trail, Alberta 2
Man, my coffee is already cold.
Use the right 2 lanes to take the exit towards Stony Trail.
Stony Trail. Here we come.
1.5 kilometers.
So I will be at the shop at 10:30. Just 30 minutes till lunch. Come on, Ford Super Duty. You can do it.
In 800 meters, use the left 2 lanes to take the Alberta 201 east ramp
Look
to
at this
Stony
guy.
Trail.
That's not even a Super Duty. Oh, that's a Chevy Silverado.
Use the left 2 lanes to take the Alberta 201 east ramp. Continue for 1 kilometer. In 800 meters, merge onto Stony Trail, Alberta 201. Continue on Alberta 201 north for 39 kilometers.
Oh, 97 again. 60 miles per hour. So now I can relax for half an hour. Nice looking Peterbilt on the left. Red. I like it when they mix colors. So that truck had the black roof and a red or orange actually engine cover and doors. Looks pretty good. And it's interesting that, you know, in all my years of trucking, I never drove a classic truck. I don't know. My International was a, you know, conventional with a sloped hood, right? Then I had a Mack, and then the last one was a K-Whopper T880. But I never drove these monsters like this. This one over here, K-Whopper B-Train. That's W9. I think I tried once. Once I did a test drive of International 9900 back in the day when I was looking for my first truck. And the guy went with me, and I just did a couple of circles, and I did not like it, like, because you know I'm used to modern trucks, and these ones, like, the hood is right here, like the visibility is very limited. But those trucks do hold their value, right? So better than conventional trucks, so you can sell them for more money in the end, you know. And that's what some people do, some truckers do for, you know, retirement. What I was thinking of doing as well, like you buy let's say your last truck, and then you drive it, so the payments for the truck come from your jobs, from your trips, right? Not out of your own pocket. And then let's say 3 or 4 years down the road, you sell the truck and you pocket the money. Well, hopefully, you know, let's say it's almost paid off. Let's say you owe, I don't know, 50, 60 grand, and you sell it for 150. So you pocket 100 grand, you know, and that's your retirement fund. The only problem is that you would have to declare that as profit and pay tax on it, at least in Canada. That's what I had to do with my K-Whopper. I think I owed 80,000, and the guy gave me 170, I think. So he paid off the bank directly. Yeah, and then he gave me the difference. It was like, I think it was like 85,000, which is good, but then my tax bill went through the roof. But yeah, I got super lucky with the truck, and especially with the 60-ton trailer and Jeep and booster. I never thought I could have sold them, you know. Like, I was at my wit's end. I did not know what to do, since I know I lost insurance, but the payments were due. 4 grand for the truck, 3 grand for the trailer. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, thinking back now, you know, I often think about this. Now, I probably would never bother with a Jeep and booster. Maybe single axle Jeep. No, I would have the same truck, 4-axle K-Whopper, which was great, except it was 4,000 pounds heavier than the previous Mack. No, three. So the Mack, the 4-axle Mack, was 24,000 pounds. The K-Whopper was 27,000 pounds. So I lost 3,000 pounds in payload. But actually I gained, because the K-Whopper had a 20,000 pound front axle, whereas the Mack only had, I think, 14.6, which is definitely not enough for a heavy haul. But that Mack would have been nice if it had a beefier axle. Like, if I was buying that Mack again, I would definitely try to find something with at least 18,000 pound axle, like maybe Volvo, because I think back then this if you wanted a big heavy axle, you had to go with a Volvo. It was not available on the Mack 613, but and I would get a longer wheelbase. Now I know that that one had 240, 243, 244, I think, 244 or 245 inches, which was too short because it could not turn. You know, when the lift axle was down, the truck refused to turn because the wheelbase was too short. And so I had to lift the lift axle, which caused a lot of stress on the truck when I had a heavy load. And so K-Whopper was nice, much nicer inside, much more comfortable, but the fuel mileage was abysmal compared to Mack, and it was heavy. So I don't know, you know, those components were really, I always wanted to try, actually I don't feel sorry now, I always wanted to try these super big loads, you know, 60 ton, 65 ton. So I tried 60 ton, check. So the sweepers are still on the deck, which is good. Yeah, I'll probably tell my dispatcher that I can load something and then I will take a break. I will take a break on the way to the next delivery. Did you see this guy? He's flying in. I thought he's gonna hit me because he was driving so fast that the speed was pushing him towards me. So anyway, that was my road trip. There'll probably be some after lunch. Usually there's some scaffolding, or they'll switch me to a pickup truck. And then today is I'm supposed to talk to the management about the annual review. So hopefully I'll still have my job tomorrow. We'll see.